Hello, I'm Dan the TMBOTC channel, and today we're going to be reviewing Team Sonic Racing. So remember at the end of this video, if you did enjoy this video, to like, share, and subscribe. It very much helps the channel, and to support it, let me know what you would like to see next. And when you do subscribe, make sure to hit the little bell for notifications and upcoming videos. And thanks for watching very much. But we're going to get into this, and we're just going to start with the garage first, because I just want to get out of the way. I also want to say this review, wanting to review this game is actually probably one of the more difficult ones for a couple of reasons. I had sadly some issues happen during this game, but besides that, I have to say this game is really fun, and it is the game that I played the most this year, or at least I felt like I'm putting more time into, and I feel like I'll still continually do that even after Crash Team Racing comes out, which I think will do better than this, but I think this was really fun. But you got a good selection of characters. Some of them are kind of weird because you got like Vector, but he doesn't have Espio or Charmbee with him, which is weird. And then you got Zavik here, which is just... was he a big fan favorite? I don't know. I mean, his car's cool and I like it, but it's just kind of weird. I guess I just want one of like every game. And it is if you go into adventure mode and such, it does feel like it's kind of going through the history of the Sonic games of the past. So this is pretty cool. The adventure mode isn't really much. You have these still images of them talking to one another. You can customize your cars. Of course, my favorite character to use is Shadow. It also has that weird thing where it won't render in the car or character yet until later, and it'll even change the color to that character. So you got plenty of selections here. As you can see, I still need to unlock quite a few, but I got quite a lot of them unlocked nonetheless. So yeah, they all help your handling, defense, boost, acceleration, I already said that, top speed, and either boost it in the green or lower it in the red. So depending on what you pick, I of course picked these as my main, and I love how the names of some of these too. You got Maria's, Boone, but and it looks kind of like the Batmobile, unless you take off that part on the back here. But they look really cool, and you can customize them to your heart's desire. And there's a lot of really cool cars. There's also some weird ones. I thought the Chow one was weird. Just the fact that Chows are even in this was just kind of weird, but I like the Chows. It's just weird to make them a racer, if anything. So you can also make your own presets, set up your own presets for them. You can select paints, horns, vinyls. I have a couple of them on here right now. You can actually see parts of them. There's one way in the back. Here's the color change, color palettes. Then we get out of that and go with the vinyls. You got all of these. And then you got, of course, the horns. I'm hoping that they add more to this game over time, kind of like how Hollow Knight keeps getting DLC. I hope there's more characters added, more maps, and more customizations and such. More parts even. You get the parts through mod pods, and through that I think you just do like races and you do Team Adventure. So you got like 7 chapters in total in Team Adventure, and most of them are different like races, team races, a Grand Prix, or some other like Eggman Assault. You just destroy the robots of his. There's different types. Then you do the Daredevil. There's time trials and such, and they do different maps throughout the sections. So of course I haven't done everything yet here, but it's still enough. And you got online play where you can go online, and this is kind of the same thing will go for the other mode, but you can search online or join a friend or invite a friend, make your own lobby. And let's check out just the local play. Just the fact this has local, it doesn't have anything like pre-order bonuses or microtransactions, which there's a law now that kind of prevents a lot of that, and loot boxes and such, or like an alternate edition. Matter of fact, this thing didn't even become a pre-order or a buyable game on digital stores until later. At least I noticed it hadn't until like right on the day that it launched. So you got Grand Prix, time trials, and exhibition race. But yeah, and you can go solo or in as a team. And the team functions are really cool for this game. Let's go into one, shall we? And of course you got your set difficulties. Here are your maps, by the way. It'll say a couple of them at the bottom, but you'll probably see we're just going to pick one straight out of the middle here. You can also set your bonus, which will help you get a boost in the beginning of the game. I'm going to select that one, and of course I want to select my favorite character, Shadow the Hedgehog. So the loading times, by the way, aren't very long either, so that's really cool. Of course, this was $40, so it's cheaper than Mario Kart. I will compare some things to Mario Kart, by the way. Yeah, it's got basically your equivalent of red shell, blue shell. You got like the wisps, which makes sense this time instead of whatever weird stuff was in Sonic All-Stars Transformed. I think that was the title of it. But it makes more sense here. You got like this pink wisp that heat seeks enemies. You got this wisp that can also get a boost at the beginning here. I think I kind of figured out how the boost works now. You just kind of make sure you don't actually let go of the right trigger, and of course you can drift and such. The controls are really smooth to the driving, and this is probably the most fun game I've played this year so far. I'm a little rusty right now, so don't mind my battery heat. You got a burning track there that you can leave behind. You can see my teammates on the bottom there. I got Blaze and Rouge. So, and you're competing. Oh, jeez. That's the stinking block. But besides that, how do I use my... I guess you just pick it up. So you see this yellow track on the ground? You just kind of follow that. That's something from whatever partner's ahead, and you can do a slingshot off of it, which helps get a little boost ahead of people. There's a lot of obstacles that will appear, like these pillars, especially more towards the end of the racetrack, and other obstacles throughout the maps. The maps are really cool. Once again, the content is less than Mario Kart in pretty much every department, but it's still enough to say that it's a fun, rewarding, and replayable game. I did watch, and I will probably use as preference, I watched Completionist video. There isn't too much other than collecting the parts in the adventure mode and such, two unlockables in this game. So, you can also, of course, get a boost when you stink and drift long enough. Oh, and speaking of which, that little ability that person's doing there, which is probably on... Nope, they're not on my team, okay. Do the ghost ability, which helps me get through. There's also invincibility ability, and I said ability twice. And that ability right there is like a super boost that can really help you. That's kind of the reason that when I saw Jim Sterling's video on this, I kind of I think in a solo race it makes sense. His whole thing where he talked about how unbalanced a lot of the racers are. You can also pass over items to other teammates, and it'll help towards the little boost meter you see at the bottom there, the slightly circular meter. That's good. Oh, is there anybody in front of us? It's my rival Sonic, the Faker. I think most of the acting is fine. There's definitely some funny lines too that a lot of the characters will say. But also the sound design's great, and I love that Crush 40 is back with the music. The music's awesome. There's also some composers and such from Sonic Mania that return. Just an awesome set of... I think I got somebody with that. That was cool. But it's definitely serviceable in those departments. Now, when it comes to online, nobody's playing this on Xbox for some reason. Like, at least I can't find anybody online, so it's really weird. So I played with a friend. We played one match. I'll get to it in just a sec. of a Grand Prix, and we didn't even get to finish that because the game crashed. And I hope that Sega fixes this, because this is the reason why this was difficult for me to review, because I think this game is fun, and it hits what games are supposed to be. Fun. As a racing game, it's really solid, and it's funny because there's another game that has like racing elements that I'm having a hard time review too recently that sucks with its racing elements. But still, this is probably the most fun I had this year with this game, and I definitely, like, this doesn't go towards the review, but I definitely support Sega. They're such an awesome company. They're just really great. Ah, crud, I should have used my boost there. Well, whatever. We got a pretty good places, though. Look at that. But yeah, we did pretty well on that round, just for the video. But when it comes to it, this is a really, like, colorful game, too. And the graphics are definitely good. I wouldn't say the most superb, but they're definitely great. And they're serviceable, once again. I guess you could say a lot of that about this. It's adequate. But I do really love this game this year. It's probably the most fun I've had. There are so many games that this game is going up against, especially another racing game that's coming out soon, and I already mentioned it. This is less of what... There's also the weird, like, padding times in online, where you have to get through this crazy menu, just go slowly, and then you vote for someone. But there's, like, elements of, like, I think Overwatch and Splatoon that kind of feel like it's in there, and I actually like the voting thing. I didn't find it too much of a problem. So, we won by, like, 1 point. That's awesome. That is close, though. So, I love just everything. And once again, I want to say Crush 40 returning is just awesome. They're one of my favorite bands. Not the favorite, but I just love them. They've got very memorable, iconic songs without Ubisoft throwing in the word iconic. And it's just such a... You should check out, I think the song is called Greenlight Go. It does kind of sound like another song that I've heard, but even by them, but it's still unique when you listen to the whole thing, and it's very catchy, so I love it. And it's different enough that I'm just like, just the fact that they've returned is just like, yes. I did like the music to previous Sonic games before that, like even Forces and Mania. Loved the music from those. But while Mania was great, Forces had some problems. I mean, it had some neat ideas, but everything else before it fell apart. This game is definitely a fun racer, but here's where I had a problem. So this might be chalked up to my internet and might not be a problem at all, which I wouldn't doubt because my internet can be garbage sometimes. But when it comes to it, the problem I had was the game would constantly crash every time me or my friend tried to join one another's game, like created game and online, and that sucked. And I've been meaning to test it out with like other people, and I don't have anybody else to really test it out with, but I want to test it anyways. So I haven't seen it crash when trying to join it online, but once again, I can't really find many. Get out of here, Chow. Many people online, so you got traps going on here too. This game just can get really hectic sometimes, but I love how hectic it can get. It just feels all over the place fun and just creative in its environments. You'll get nostalgic for both the music and the racetracks because of where you know them from, if you're a big Sonic fan. I stick to Sonic. My grandmother was a big fan of Sonic. But I used to be that person who was like, Sonic has a couple of pretty bad games, grandmother. Such as Sonic 06 and Sonic Boom especially. I mean, there's still decent things about both those games. I like the humor of Boom, and I like, you know what, I forgot what the crud I liked from 06. But you basically know the gist of what I'm saying with this game. But it's just a serviceable stinking racer that I probably had the most fun with this year. and hits that feeling of you're playing a fun video game. And that's what video games are meant to be. So, I think that's all I have to say. It's difficult, and I think what's going to be difficult now is rating it, but I think I know what I wanted to rate it when I was doing this. So, I hope that's not fire that I can get hit by. Oh! See, these are the stupid pillars that you can get hit into. And again. You can pick up rings as well. They mostly serve as just like collectibles. Anything. I think they might give you a slight boost. You can also go off ramps and do kind of like little tricks to give yourself a boost. But besides that, most of the collectibles are stuff like keys or stars, just rings, whatever, and of course achievements. And it looks like we're at the last part of the race. So, if you know me, I give 3 different ratings. A realistic rating, a personal rating, if you're wondering what the crud a realistic rating is, probably like, it's more of a rating of what it would be realistically, and my realistic rating would have to be a solid 7 out of 10. This game would definitely get higher if it didn't have some of the technical issues, but once again, that could be me. And it's just me personally, so the rating would definitely probably go up otherwise. So, and then a audience score besides my own personal score. Thanks for breaking those, by the way. Whee! Come on, guys, let's go. But, I had the most fun with this game this year, and I have to say, even with the problems, I think my personal rating is a 7.8, almost close to an 8 out of 10. And my audience recommended score is a 7.6. I usually go like a point or 2 below sometimes, if it's a game usually for the audience score compared to my own personal score, because my own personal score could be biased and very subjective. I think this entire rating system that I have set up, you could even say is entirely subjective, but it's just an interesting way I rate stuff. So I hope you like it nonetheless, and I hope you liked this video and review. I hope the audio came out fine for both my voice, commentary, and for the music and background sound effects, that they weren't interrupting one another either. I definitely want to do my best for these. And I want to know what you think I could do better, or what I've done worse in this video compared to my other reviews. I think my ukulele review is probably the one I had the most trouble with at the time. But yeah, I probably would rate it lower now that I look back at it. But that video is just outdated now. And maybe I should just make a re-review of that. So, I hope you guys deeply enjoyed this video nonetheless, and you have all a awesome day. My next review will be Rage 2. That is a game I'm having trouble deciding what I want to score it. I'm still thinking on it, but I think I know what I want to give it. There's also another game that I think is coming out either today or tomorrow or so. Layers of Fear 2. I'm not a big Layers of Fear fan. There's a Layers of Fear video on my channel. Was not a big fan of it. I actually own the game. I did not enjoy it as much as others. I kind of fall into the same lead that Angry Joe said about it. Yeah, I just didn't really care for it, and I don't know if I'm looking forward to the sequel. I hear it's better, but just from looking at it, I don't feel like it's better. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this nonetheless, and that you got enough out of this. So, see yas!